Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. It's Sunday night. That means we get to dive into our Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages campaign set in Sicily. But this week it is Team High Clan, hashtag Team Palermo, and we get to see how, the interesting things that they got up to at their Elysium and how it affects what may or may not have happened from their Elysium. We left on a cliffhanger. I can't wait to find out what the answer to that cliffhanger is. If you're in chat right now, give me your odds on how many of them will survive the night. We'll find out. Why don't we go around? Billy will be joining us shortly. He's, Billy, he's in demand. He'll be here shortly. But why don't we start with Lynn? Thank you for being here. Thank you for playing again tonight.
Actually, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm Lynn, Shide, and tonight I am playing Marozia, Toreador, she, her, and who did absolutely behaved herself absolutely fine last time. Nothing happened. Nothing. No magic explosion caused by her. Nothing. No. Good.
See, explosion would have been one thing, but technically it was an implosion and a
Implosion.
vortex.
Yeah.
Right? Like, implosions are bad.
Both explosions are bad.
Both plosions are bad. I
The
need that
general
on a
Plosion
shirt.
family is rough, yeah.
Don't want
Both
either. You won't be
plosions
near.
are bad. That's going on a shirt. You heard it here first, people. That will be part of the new merch line. Hi, there is a merch store. It does exist. All of the funding from that goes into supporting the channel. Hey Dan, how are you?
Hey. I'm doing fine. I don't know what anybody else is talking about. It seemed like a perfectly fine, just boring evening of vampire politics as usual. Don't. I mean, there was a little bit of a kerfluffle there at the end. I remember going over to take a peek. Also, I think you stole my friends, my only friends. I would like those back. Where are my shadows?
In the box, maybe? Who knows?
Mm.
But we left off two people holding the box closed. Your new friend, Archon, saying to run, and then he running away.
Yes.
And I just need to know. I think this is exactly where we should pick up, right? I feel like important decisions have to be made.
I mean, we could do a time skip, you know.
We're all dead. We
We're
are new
just-
characters.
Time
Sorry,
skip to
Billy.
everyone dead.
Hi, Billy. You are perfect timing. We're not. We have. Introduce yourself, Billy. Thank you for being here. Perfectly timed.
Hello. I am Bill of the Forest. I just hopped in from another game, so sorry I'm late. I have no idea what's happening in this one currently because I've been out of it for like 25 minutes, so I can't wait to hear
Oh,
about
we
it.
just got started. We didn't
We
even get
just-
anywhere.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm playing Tybalt the Bastard, um, who is a character. Don't want to reveal too much.
That is true. They are
It is
indeed a character.
Okay.
Last we left off, I believe he was having some problems. However,
Couple of problems.
most of them the fact that he was the big thing in the way of a sucking vortex of doom.
Shadow that like destroyed my body.
Yeah.
Anti-shadow.
Kind of, yeah, pretty much. So the question then becomes. We had our dear friend Archon say, run, and then he started running, and then we've got two people holding a box closed, and I need to know what people's choices are going to be. I feel like music is appropriate.
It's so good.
So, perhaps, you know, maybe we should ask Siraj first. What is he going to do?
I mean, he was told to run, and things got kind of fuzzy after that. But I think he would have taken that as a fair and honestly well thought through suggestion, and followed through on that by just turning tail and running away from the dangerous thing, even if it did take his shadows. But you know, we can deal with that later.
All right, then. Then that I feel like we need a roll.
That's fair. Let me see here.
Technically, I feel like this is either a Dex Athletics.
Athletics, you say?
I mean, you could make me an argument for something else.
Oh no. That is the correct choice, and I'm gonna roll it. I just don't like my chances. I mean, if I don't have athletics, it's basically a -1, right, to the roll.
I
Is
mean,
that how
it
that
does
works?
it for you, basically.
Or it's just raw.
It's
oh
just
yeah.
raw.
So,
And,
oh yeah. So
I mean, you could always spend a willpower
that is an excellent idea. I forget that's a thing.
that you
That's
can
a thing
spend
I'm gonna
willpower.
do right. I'm gonna do that right the heck now, because this feels like a good reason to. So right. So I'm just gonna roll 2d10. That's not bad. One success.
So 2 successes then,
Oh hey, even
right?
better.
One willpower to get an automatic success.
Oh yes,
and
yes,
then-
right. 2 successes with the willpower. Exactly. Look
There
at me
you
go.
So it is, I'm going to say, not pretty. You are not graceful, and it probably gives away the fact that you can see in the dark, the way you're just moving at speed.
I'm kind of counting on everybody being a little bit too distracted by everything else to really pay a lot of attention to the blind guy that didn't bother making too many friends. Aw, kitty.
Then I guess the question goes to Maurizia and Tybalt.
I have a question about the water that Lulu jumped in. How is it swiftly thing or is it more stagnant?
No, it's moving at a bit of a speed. This is the Roman aqueduct,
Mm-hmm.
so it provided fresh water from the mountains outside the city into the city of Palermo, and it still does. So it's not like a raging torrent, you know,
Yeah.
but it's
Mhm.
steady.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Good. Okay. Good.
You gonna try
Well,
and
then-
cross it?
No. I mean, I'm gonna make the box try and cross it. So, all right, box. Just I'm gonna try and
So
Just
you're gonna try.
throw the box. If it's, I think it's flowing away from us.
Yes. It's flowing back into the room that you came from, but it is away from you
Oh
currently.
shit.
I mean, you also got this very tall meat shield,
Yeah.
who's also holding the box closed for you at the moment.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Tipple. Can you run?
I can.
Run.
But I'm holding the box shut. If
And
I
that-
don't hold the box shut, the box will open.
How long do you think we have keeping it closed like this? Is it like rocket? Is it kind of like wind open, or is it more or less stay?
It feels like it did when it was in your hand at the beginning
Oh,
of
good.
the night.
Oh,
You know, like you can hold it closed. You're not sure for how long.
mhm. How much? We're at the entrance of the music room, right?
Well, where the music was coming from. So it's
Yeah.
really there. So again, this is part of the aqueduct system. So this, what you're basically on is the quote unquote maintenance passage that
Mm-hmm.
was designed so people could walk the length of the aqueduct and have
Okay.
like the water running to one side and like a 3.5, 4 foot decent size platform, maybe almost 6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet would be the more accurate measurement, enough that two people could walk next to each other
Okay.
along this passageway. And then it went into the room that was the cistern, right? So it was the
Mm-hmm.
place where the water would eventually collect until it would be drained into the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's not currently doing that because, a bunch of people were using it for other purposes.
Okay. We throw it into the music room and then run.
We could do that.
We can't make it holding it closed, and I am not going to take, and we will not take it with us.
Okay, then I'll throw it in that room. Ready?
And she'll like kind of like brace to like run, but like I think she's gonna like let go just like right when you say go, and then she'll run, and then then she'll let the pressure off of the thing. I think, yeah,
Okay, so we'll do that.
we'll do that.
Okay, so you get to go ahead. Who's picking it up and throwing it? Tybalt?
I'll probably do that.
So then, all right.
Tybalt is hurt, but I think Tybalt would definitely do a lot better than Marozia.
I mean, he has a -2 penalty to everything right now, but yeah.
It's the athletics are.
You hope in his athletics are.
I mean, I think there's just saying there's a decent chance if Marozia were to try and throw, it's going to be like those things where you throw a baseball and you throw it at the ground instead. You release too late.
That's fair. I understand. So, I feel like this is going to be a timing issue, right? Like, Marozia's got to let go and then run, and then Tybalt's got to grab the box with more force that she's releasing and throw, or not care about the amount of. Which direction are you throwing the box, Tybalt?
I thought that was agreed on to another room.
The room that you came from?
No, the other way.
The other
Yeah.
way. So just down the tunnel, basically.
Down the tunnel,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And then we're running the way back we came.
Okay.
Or at least for Marozia, how far she can get without, over and over.
It sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan. So I feel like this is a strength athletics from Tybalt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at a -2 dice at the moment. And for Marozia, I think this is because it's about timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's about sorry about that. So I think that this is going to be. You have an option.
Mm-hmm.
Your option is either going to be Dex Empathy or Wits Athletics. How much can you read and to match your timing to Tybalt's actions?
It's empathy, I think it's going to be the way we're doing this.
Go for it.
5.
Look at
So
you. Wow.
4 successes plus a 10 to reroll. 5 successes,
Damn,
another
holy
10 to reroll.
Okay.
So 5 successes from Tybalt.
Jeez.
Oh.
Okay. We
4
Look at him
successes
eat.
from Marozia. By the
Let me
way,
roll that.
5 successes in this game is an exceptional success.
Yeah, it's not like our. Okay, well that's
It doesn't
nothing.
matter.
That's
I
nothing. Yeah.
think the
So-
box. What I
You're-
think what happens to the box is it does the Team Rocket thing, where it just goes all the way up into the sky, and then you hear the ping, and then it just disappears forever, and no one ever has to hear it ever again.
Maybe down the hall. Because there is a brickwork above your head.
It's clearly it'll hit the other side of the wall of the room.
Suspension of
wall, you know?
disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you go the entire length of the tunnel.
You
Right?
hit it
Like you
hard,
don't have to
yeah.
worry about it. It just keeps going. It's somewhere beyond. You're not worrying about it. And so you both manage to run away. My question then is, as you run into the room where others are still in the Elysium, and the music, by the way, has stopped for them, because, you know, the musician jumped into the aqueduct and disappeared. I have the very important question, because Archon ran in, Siraj ran in. It's going to be probably then Marozia and then Tybalt, just given the fact of, you know, timing and how things go and the action economy here. As both Archon and Siraj enter what was this open space, again, the lights are brighter. There seems to be, like, natural shadows now. Siraj's is still missing. But
Yeah.
Siraj's shadow is...
It's always was weird to begin with.
Yeah, it's a little special. It has some things. But as you run in, you would notice, without a rule, because that's a thing. He's in the wrong place. He goes up here. Sorry. Back to that way. Oh no, I was in the right place before. He was in the right place before. You would notice, the Templar has moved towards a defensive position, in front of the entrance to the tunnel, but not blocking it, like a good 10, like 5 feet from the entrance, enough that you could, or 10 feet maybe, so that you could get around him if you needed to escape, but he could react, with the longsword that he has, not at the moment. He just has the scabbard of. And Bernardin is kind of like come up next to him, and he looks extremely awkward because he's still in full plate armor, and he also still has his scabbard. But while the Templar looks to be in defensive position and looking, prepared to deal with anything, Bernardin isn't holding the scabbard in a way that seems prepared. It's kind of like in his left hand, he's holding it as if he would be prepared to draw the sword from it, as opposed to the Templar, who's kind of flipped his scabbard on the edge and is prepared to bludgeon somebody with it. Useful. But they're both there as you and Archon run in.
Mm-hmm.
The Templar in Latin says, just get behind him. Is it coming? He's focused on the immediate moments. Bernardin is watching what else is coming behind you. So what do you do?
I mean, as I'm running it, at least, I'm seeing things. I'm having to pretend I'm not. So,
Oh yes, and your
sir,
your ghoul is still, your
you know,
retainer.
yeah, I told him to run before I was told to run, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you sent
Um,
him back before, you know.
yeah, yeah. As soon as I knew things were getting particularly weird, I wanted him to survive.
Hmm.
Um, but seeing as I'm supposed to be blindly running, I think Siraj is going to keep running if that means he's about to collide with one of these two armored individuals. That's that he's got a he's got a lie to keep up.
Hmm.
So he would kind of keep going. I mean, I think he would at least make a slight attempt, hopefully to not run into them. But like he's trying to do the impression. I'm more than happy to like make some kind of subterfuge roll for this to like
Yeah, I
come off
think
as like I want them to still think I'm literally blindly running.
yeah, I think this is a manipulation subterfuge roll.
That sounds about right. All right, let me go ahead and roll that. That's... Oof. No. Oh well. No.
That
Should
that that
should have
that's a
spent the willpower to that.
botch.
Yeah. Yeah. Not great. Not great.
No, no, no. That's a botch.
So I probably like visibly dodge at a movement, something that I should not have seen.
So what it's going to be is because I was going to make him roll for it, but now given the botch, I'm not going to make him roll for it. What
Yeah.
it was is because the Templar was prepared to intervene, right, and like
Hmm.
reaching, he was trying to provide assistance and protection. Bernardin is looking at other things. So when you come in, it's that level of you're still trying to run blindly,
Hmm.
but he had reached out for you, and it's that half second of just natural physical reaction of somebody putting their hand in front of your face, and your
Yep.
head
Yep.
just kind of jerked back just enough that he realizes that you can actually see, even as he continues to bring his arm around the back of your shoulder and pull you behind him. He doesn't say anything about it at the
Yeah.
moment,
He's
but you know that he knows
he's
at the
got
moment.
bigger fish to fry at the moment, but
Yeah,
noted. Yes.
exactly. It's like, mm,
Yeah.
you're
Well,
you're not the
we'll
problem.
we'll we'll have a conversation about that later.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, Marozia, you are the next person to, as you're coming in, as you look down the tunnel, you would see this Templar reach around to kind of like mom arm Siraj behind him,
Hmm.
and then while still holding the scabbard as if he's prepared to take an action.
Hmm.
Um, and he would also again shout in Latin, "Behind me, get behind me."
Hmm.
Did you see it? Where is it?
Back room. Don't know.
Okay. And so as you're going to kind of continue behind him into this
Hmm.
big open space,
Yeah.
the vampires that are still there are kind of like moved away from where the water was flowing towards where everybody came in to the
Hmm.
this. So picturing like this big domed what was a cistern with the pathway that runs along the water, and that's going east west. Well, no, reverse that. Northwest to southeast. Sorry. And there's a tunnel opening there, and then directly across from it, just a straight line. And then at the 90-degree point, there was the tunnel entrance that you all came in into this big space. Um, Everyone else seems to have kind of posted up next to the that entrance, shall we say.
Hmm.
Where are you going?
after I get behind, I think she's just going to like kind of like crumple a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Away from the water, I'm assuming.
Yes, away from the water. Yeah.
You know, it's all these water things, right? It's such a
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah.
So Tybalt's coming in behind you. He's
Mhm.
probably moving a little bit slowly, even though he did have a massive success. So we'll come back to that in a moment. Can I get everybody to roll a perception occult? So no successes for Marozia. She's a little winded.
Yeah.
One,
Things happen in the last 30 seconds.
2, 3, 4 successes for Siraj, which makes sense because it's
That's kind of his jam.
Yeah. It's kind of your jam, and you're concerned about your
My shadows.
your shadows.
Please give me my shadows.
And because of that, you would notice that and this kind of makes sense. So Tybalt is running behind you, right? He's coming in behind you. He's bringing up the rear, and just as into that team, he doesn't notice he's too busy running. And Tybalt, you are also winded and wounded, so it would make sense that you are don't notice what's behind you, and are kind of like gonna not run into the Templar because he's going to slightly step out of the way because you are obviously in some sort of distress. You're not bleeding profusely, but it looks like you should be. That kind of level of you look fucked up, but it's not.
Flesh is agape.
Yeah. And with that, he's just gonna kind of step our way around and like kind of mom arm you around. And the moment he kind of does is that when you hear that plink in the far, far distance, and then sound seems to return to the space. Wind flow seems normal. Siraj, you have a shadow again. We'll come back to that.
Sure.
But now the question becomes, as he turns to you all and says, "What happened? Are we under attack? Who violated Elysium?" And Bernardin is like, "Yes, of course. I need to know. I'm, as your hopeful future prince, it is important that I, attend to these issues." He's still trying to network this.
Mm-hmm. I think Marozia leaves out like a frustrated, like kind of like growl, and just like kind of like digs her nails into the surface and just like kind of still kind of struggling. Like, he tricked me. Tricked me.
Are you lying?
Yes.
I would say that would be manipulation subterfuge, please, and thank you. Anyone who is the players who wishes to determine if that is a true statement or not, could, use perception empathy.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I feel like I'm too worried about staying alive
Yeah.
to sweat the small stuff of truth.
Yeah, I'm distracted with the occult implications of all this, but at the same time, like someone here is responsible, and they were in the tunnel before I was, so might as well pay attention. So yeah, I'll roll perception plus empathy and see what I get.
2 successes.
Don't like
Oh
my
no,
chances.
two tens to reroll.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, two successes.
2 successes, but they're tens, so you get to reroll them. So 3 successes versus 1.
Just the one, yeah.
Just the one. Let us see somebody else. Anybody else? Okay. At the moment, no one see the Templar hyper focuses on you. Who tricked you? What was it? What was the what did you do? What did you do?
Oh, Vigo.
And like, who? Because
My goddamn sire.
and there's a look on the Templar's face of like, oh, this is family drama.
Mm-hmm.
And that look of like, I don't, god damn it, I need to know, but I don't want to be involved.
Yo,
like I don't.
How much do you want to know? Do you want to know the?
Mhm.
He had me bring an item to give to him down here.
You brought a item? What item? What
It's a
did you-
box. It's a box that
What's in the box?
I didn't have.
What's in the box?
He told me not to open it, and I couldn't. I send out and I bring in all sorts of items from overseas. This is one that he specifically bade me to bring to him tonight.
I need another manipulation.
Yeah.
Subterfuge.
Lying my ass off.
You're going to I'm going to lower your DC, so 5s are going to be your success point at this point because
Okay.
you succeeded on the previous one.
Can I use another willpower?
You can.
This seems like stakes.
Willpower does refresh.
Yep. To what is the refresh for session? Does it like what is it per session or is it per like?
Oh, I need to double check the rules for this edition.
I'm fine with it. Whatever. I'll roll with it.
It's either per session or per scene. You get a certain number back.
A future.
And it just
What happens when you run out? Or you just run out? You run out of points, or is there a negative?
It becomes problematic.
Okay.
Not
Good,
having
okay.
willpower.
Good to know.
Things that can attack your willpower.
Yeah. Oh yes. I mean,
you know, and make you.
there are a number of things I can probably think of that could and will probably in the future.
Also, it's how you can resist mind control and various
Yeah.
other things.
Mm-hmm. Is that another manipulation?
Yeah, manipulation
Subterfuge?
subterfuge.
Okay. Okay, there we go. And number is 5, right? For that, their success number.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 8?
Hold on. I was looking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 successes. No one is going to challenge you, and actually, Bernardin is going to come up to you and be like, "You poor dear. I'm so sorry for this. I am sure that you are. He is such a horrible." And he's going to start being that man bro to provide comfort to the damsel in distress.
Yeah. She's lenient just because like she did cross water, which is excruciatingly painful. And there's a little bit of like that kind of like feeling still running through. So it's not hurting, but yeah, she'll lean in. She'll kind of like lean into it and stuff.
Okay, so what is your nature? Because in
My
this
nature,
edition, it requires you acting according to your nature to regain willpower.
survivor.
Oh, I would say that the current lying your ass off at the end of this scene, you will get 2 willpower back because of
Okay,
just
yeah.
you want to survive.
Yeah, this is
And you were freely willing to use Tybalt as a meat shield to do it.
yeah. I mean, it was on it. I mean, it's the way we fell. There wasn't like that much time, but yeah, that is technically still true.
Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So Bernardin is gonna like lead you over, and of course let me introduce you to excuse me. Her ladyship. And he will lead you to the woman dressed in purples and very intricately embroidered, not quite peasant wear, a little bit nicer than that, but definitely not like the style isn't high fashion. It's very simple and
Mhm.
dated. It is dated. And for the 13th century, that's saying something. This looks Roman, right? Like,
Mhm.
she, again, her hair is dark, curly, been pulled back into a bun at the base of her neck. She's wearing purple dyed linen and
Mm.
silks. So the fabrics themselves are very wealthy. The color is very wealthy. But she's not very ornamental with it. She's not wearing any jewelry. And she's been anxious the entire evening, right? Like, she was the one who is rubbing her hands and
Mhm.
trying to stay out of the way of Bernardin's, actions. And he's like, Madame Rosalinda, may I present to you, Signorina? And he will realize that this is the first time he has not asked for your name.
Mortia, Valoriza.
And I believe she's had a bit of a shock. She might require your kind assistance. Marossia, I'm not going to make you roll because you're used to dealing with complicated emotions and expressions thereof. And the fact of the matter is she's, a woman of similar social status as you are. Both in the, kind and kindred world, right? Like,
Mhm.
maybe a little bit of either way. But, there's just this brief look on her face of like, do we, making eye contact with the other female presenting individual in the room and going, God, men are assholes, aren't they? Why don't you come sit with me and we can sit here and bitch about them?
Mhm.
Because he's like,
Absolutely, yes.
he is totally patronizing you in a way that's not subtle at all.
Mhm. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
it's like, she's like, please come sit with me, my dear.
Yeah.
Rosalind, I have a small stake in a theater troupe in the city, among other things. I like to invest in various entertainments.
I think we may have run across each other, not in the realm of business, but not personally. Which theater?
Wait, which one is it? Hold on. Yes. The Teatro Bellini.
Ah,
Teatro Bellini. Which is, actually kind of down the street from your good friend Carmelina.
mm,
And you can see, now that you're sitting next to her, again, doesn't require a roll, the intricate detail embroidery along her collar and the hem of her shawl are climbing roses. Right?
mm-hmm,
She's another Toreador.
mm-hmm.
You know. And she will just deadpan go, look, I'm sure the gentlemen need your assistance, signore. And kind of, but not really, give him turn her back to him as she guides you to a chair next to her so that the two of you can start
Yeah.
not subtly talking about him.
Mm-hmm. I will follow. Just more willing to be let them lead for a little while. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah, I don't feel a need to rush anywhere, and to be honest, this is very entertaining at this point.
I was thinking of enjoying the socializing until then, but this is all ruined.
Yeah.
She'll kind of look out, do the thing where she kind of looks through her a little bit.
Are you still attempting to? Are you still attempting to play up this subterfuge at this point? I'm not going to make you roll again because
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
high.
It's a little bit of she is pushing, but she's kind of using she is in all sorts because he isn't dead. And that's mostly where the shock is coming from. There's just she's kind of now in a little bit of a panic too. So a little feeding, but yeah, she's willing to kind of push this along.
Okay. So let's see how Billy's doing.
Hurting.
Yes. The Templar, again, still has not introduced himself, or provided any name for him to go by. Sees that you are injured and begins to offer you that arm shoulder to help move you in a way that very much indicates he is used to helping soldiers and other soldiers get to medical assistance, right? What he needs to do to not help you feel like you're still being, you can still walk by yourself even if you can't, and not intentionally cause additional harm to you, right? If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he'll. I feel like he's in a spot where he can allow that to happen.
Okay.
In his frail little man pride.
He's basically just helping you to a chair, right? He's not. Yeah. He's not helping you to he's not doing anything else to kind of make it complicated for you. He's just helping you to a chair, and then kind of looking at you and going, is there anywhere that you don't hurt?
No, I hurt everywhere. It feels like I got split from the inside, but I'm still together.
You look like shit, sir. Pardon my French.
Well, thank you for the compliment. You don't look too great yourself.
I mean, it's the nose, isn't it? So what happens when you had broken 6 or 7 times? Never heals right.
Even with the gift.
Well, if your nose is too beat up when you die, I'm not a Toreador. But luckily I'm not in Nosferatu either. I don't end up looking like. And there's that awkward pause of like, oh wait, Servatius is still in the building.
Um,
Would you like me to get you a snack?
I'm not going to say no,
But
but what I said I'm not going to say no, so I would have to say yes.
okay, because usually there's a but after that kind of statement. I'm not going to say no, but
Okay, okay, I see. I see. No, I'll take one.
I'll bring you something. And I'll tell your. And he kind of looks across to where Bernardin is like still puffing out his chest and trying to look, shaking hands and kissing babies,
Hmm.
as he's patronizing Marozia and Rosalinda at the same time. Talented.
Hmm.
He's very talented in this. He goes, and I'll make sure that your opponent knows that the duel will have to be delayed at least a week. And he kind of like looks you up and down, goes, maybe two. Servatius, this man needs a drink or three. And he starts walking over to Servatius to see about getting you some of the fine refreshment that they, free range even, that they had brought in for the Elysium. Leaving you in the chair on the side, to the side of the room, by yourself, while, excuse me, and Siraj and Archon are kind of there, and he doesn't, the Templar doesn't say anything, Siraj, as he walks away. At least not to you.
Suraj appreciates. Again, conversation that can be had at another time. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, so as all this happens, you might notice Suraj standing a few steps away, just kind of awkwardly, his head a little tilted, as it making it obvious that he was listening to what was said. Um, and hi, Kitty. And after a moment, sort of that few seconds of awkward pause as nobody says anything, he finally pipes up. So, what exactly was it that you saw there? What did we run from?
You're muted, Billy.
I can't be too sure. The box opened. I felt I saw shadows move, and I felt this extreme pain. It's still there. Other than that, I don't know how all of that was kept in the tiny box.
You heard the shadows move. You and Siraj suddenly like turns to face you, almost like with a certain like in unexpected intensity from the otherwise sort of soft spoken that he had, and he actually starts reaching out to you, just like the barest movement doesn't like actually lash out or anything. Starts and then it kind of stops and may I? And he's like he's motioning as if he's like if he as if he could touch you, but he's very much holding it. May I?
Do you think that it could teach you more about what I saw? Then yes.
And as soon as like the response is even remotely positive, he like just kind of places a hand on. He's being weird about it, but mostly he's like he's trying to see what he can gather because
Yeah.
clearly this was abyss flavored, whatever it was. So he's just trying to see if he can feel anything, if it fits with his knowledge of the abyss and the shadows, whatever magic this was, if he can gather anything from the fact that he's here with the person that apparently was at the epicenter of it.
So I feel like that is a not quite perception because that's not right. I would say wits occult.
Sure. That works. That works. Good dice pool for me too. No tens, but not bad.
No, not bad at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is definitely not bad. We call that an exceptional success. So there's nothing. You touch Tybalt, and what does this look like? Describe how this works for Siraj.
Sure, sure. So there's definitely a La Sombra Abyss element to it. I mean, unless I'm assuming that my shadows are back. Maybe not the full high weirdness of them, but at least I do have my shadows. So he's able to like make some level of contact. So I'd say as his hand touches Tybalt, there is. It's not like the hand goes black or anything, but its color definitely becomes as if a shadow had fallen upon it. Not pure blackness, but like a shadow, a little grayer. And Suraj himself tilts his head and begins murmuring in Arabic. He's saying several prayers, and his fingers are not going into any wounds, but he is just kind of like following the lines of the wounds as if trying to determine by their shape. If this was like a slash wound or a cutting wound or a piercing wound, he's like trying to determine the shape of the shadows that hurt you or that damaged you, the damaged Tybalt, through his touch. That's kind of what it looks like. So if he was tracing that, and again, he's not looking at Tybalt because he's got his I'm completely blanking on the blindfold. He's got his blindfold on, so he's just got his head kind of tilted off to the side, and he spends a few moments just murmuring, being a little bit weird about it. But what he's in his head, what he's actually doing is he's reaching out with that connection. Again, he's best way I can explain it, like he's tasting for it. He's like trying to see if the flavor of this abyssal magic is something that from his own studies he can at least get an idea of, like, that is the magical box of Shadow Doom, of course.
So, not necessarily from your own studies, but you can get
Right.
a couple pieces of information immediately. I'm going to give you 2 pieces of information for yourself, and then you'll be allowed to ask me 3 questions that I will answer honestly.
Nice.
So, first piece of information. Whatever harmed Tybalt was abyssal in nature. Abyssal. Not just shadows, but
Right.
abyssal shadows. And number 2, it was targeted. It was intentional and targeted, but it was targeted in the way in which, a fireball is, right? Like, an arrow is, dear sir, fireball is to whom it may concern.
Right.
And this was definitely targeted to kindred. There was a particular target that was supposed to be hit that maybe was, maybe wasn't. You're not 100% sure on that because you would have needed more information about the events before you got there, right? Like that just...
Right.
But what you can definitely learn is that it is abyssal and it was intentional and it was designed to harm kindred.
So weapon against our kind specifically. Or at least against vampires in general. All right. So question 1. Would I know if this kind of thing is a sort of a one-shot? Basically, was this a grenade or is this a just every time you open the box, shit gets wild? Or was this a
It's
one
kind
shot,
of in between. It's based on what you can tell from Tybalt and
Mhm.
what he basically had, it was unstable and maybe went off early, but it doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily mean it was a one and done.
cool. So it's probably still dangerous then.
Yes, it's more. It's definitely still dangerous, but it's dangerous in the sense that it was not just a grenade. You know, it wasn't like you put a
Mhm.
claymore on a tripwire. It was there's something in the box, or more accurately, well, no, you'd need to know more about the box itself to get that piece of information.
Right, and I haven't had a chance to look at the box, and now I'm aware the box is still dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else would I kind of want to know based on this? Um, would this is kind of like more of a vibes thing, but would I feel like this is something where if I like does this feel out of my ken? Does this feel, I mean, clearly he's accepting, he sees himself as an apprentice in this, like he's like whatever this is probably not something I could have made, but does this feel like the kind of ritual or shadow or abyss magic that
No, a demon made this.
yeah, okay, so that's, yeah, exactly, that's what yeah, he's like, is this my school of abyss magic, or is this like, oh, this okay, yeah, I'm not,
Nope.
these are the advanced courses, I'm not in this yet,
And
if ever.
it's also just like it's full on demonic. This is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
something that even
So this, yeah,
Lord.
okay, so that it feels like it doesn't feel like it's necessarily something from my clan necessarily. This is like, no, this is, we tap into this stuff, but it's not our stuff.
No, you kind of skim the surface.
Right.
This is somebody from within the abyss
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
who has certain abilities, shall we say?
Got it. Yeah, I think I still have a couple, like, I still have another
You
question,
do
Val,
have
but
one more.
I don't know what else I might ask. So I honestly, with that, I think Siraj is satisfied for the moment, because anything more than that I would like to know, or he would like to know, I think would probably require being, dealing with the box.
Well, you can bank
Um,
the question if you want to see if you can
yeah,
find the
I'll
box.
bank it. Yeah, yeah, I'll bank it for now, because I'm not. Yeah, Siraj is not done with the box. If anything, now he's even more interested in it, but also terrified of it. So Tybalt, you would see like Siraj does this weird little thing. All of this takes just a few moments, and then he pulls his hand back as if burned, and goes, just looks completely discomfited for a second, like just doesn't quite know what to say before he again just kind of lapses into prayer for a few moments. He's at least for like a solid 10 to 15 seconds, he's just bowing his head devout in prayer, just as he processes this, and finally he turns his head and puts his hands down. It's of the abyss. It is dark, demonic, and it is made to hurt us, and it's still out there. It's still ready to hurt. You didn't take all of it. In fact, it's probably for the only reason there is enough of you left to have a conversation with, is that it's not over.
Hmm.
And he like tilts his head again. He doesn't look, but he like tilts his head a little in the direction of the tunnel. Someone's going to have to go and get that thing.
Uh, well, don't look at me.
Couldn't if I wanted to.
I mean, yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, and yeah, he can pause. Also, I am not volunteering. I am. If it did that to you, I am. And he just vaguely motions at himself. He's basically pencil thin. Uh, like, and but if perhaps, and he again is, did I? Am I wrong, or are you one of the candidates? Yes.
Uh, yes.
Well, then this perhaps is a chance for leadership. Yes, rally others. Get that thing. It should not be left there.
Okay, but what do I do with it what do we do with it when we receive it? We go down the tunnel, we pick it up, we hold it shut, we bring it
Yes.
back. Then what?
And Siraj again tilts his head vaguely. He doesn't look in direction. He tilts his head so basically his ear is pointing in direction instead of where normally people would look. So he tilts his head kind of in the general direction of where Marozia was, and he goes, "There was someone else who was with that box, no?
It was.
Answers."
Well, we can get answers. My priority is getting back to walking comfortably.
Well, hopefully there are. I heard snacks. Yes.
And I think that's when the Templar would come in with, you know, male presenting and female presenting and go, what's your flavor?
Sweaty.
And he shoves the younger man towards you. Enjoy. He's already kind of not all there, shall we say, at the moment.
And then he will cut the pleasantries and just feast on this.
Are you going to kill him?
Yeah.
Very nice. So
Very good, sir. Very good.
very good, of course. Somebody else is going to be responsible for taking care of, you know. Someone else is going to take care of the remains if you leave any. If you are going to kill this person. Yeah. We'll take care of the bodies, don't worry.
Yeah.
You were invited. This is a feast, you know. And the Templar returns is like, I had a discussion with Bernardin and informed him that your unfortunate your duel for power will have to wait. Excuse me. We'll have to wait a week. You are. I could knock you over with my pinky.
I do not think that you could.
Pretty
I know
sure
what that look means.
Pretty sure I could.
Uh,
But this is an Elysium, and I've agreed to be your referee, your judge for this duel. So, a
you
week.
could not knock me over with your pinky. He'll say it defiantly.
And there's just this long, slow, up and down judgment of you. It's like, you're one of those. And he has the sigh. Billy, you are Norman, but did you, and you were a raider, did you work with, he has the sigh of an experienced nom-com having to hold, have to deal with either a brand new fresh recruit who thinks they're greener, who thinks that they are untouchable,
Hot shit, yeah.
or the hot shit quote unquote officer who, like, maybe he himself could be a capable individual but doesn't necessarily know how to lead troops, and he's just a non-com, like, I've seen this before, I could beat your ass. I'm not going to, because it's not going to be fun. It would be pointless and a waste of my energy, but it could do it. And if you get too annoying, I might do it anyways. That level of sigh.
Uh-huh.
Like every weapons master you've probably ever had growing up.
You said you could knock me down with your pinky, and I'm saying that you cannot do that.
And he looks across at where Servatius, and he goes, Servatius, are we officially declaring this Elysium over? And Servatius just kind of nods. Mm-hmm. And he will reach out, raise his right pinky, wiggle it in your face, and then, almost faster than you can see, push on the chair that you're sitting in, so it will topple over.
No
Now,
rolls? Do I just fall over?
You can attempt to try
Cool.
and do this, because this is going to be a Dex Athletics, I believe, to stay upright. You're still at a
-2.
-2 penalty.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
not.
Had to be Dex. Okay.
Yes, because this is a Dex-based.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's 3 successes. That's not bad.
Oh, jeez.
God dang.
Damn it.
With your armada of
Oh,
dice.
what the hell? Look at those 10s. Oh my god.
It keeps going.
Oh, don't explode again. 10. Okay.
Wow.
1,
One,
Okay.
2,
two,
3, 4, 5, 6,
six,
7. 7 to
I
your
got
3.
shown.
The chair
got
will go out
shown.
from under you.
Yeah. And then I'll hit the ground. Oh, and like all of the pain will come back. And then he'll push himself up. Like, okay.
Awake.
Okay. You could push me with your pinky. That is a truth I know now.
And he will offer you his hand to pull you up.
Yep. He'll take it. And he's like, a week.
Good. You're a very good fighter. We shall have to test ourselves against each other at one point.
One step at a time.
Yes.
What
Kick
was
his ass
your name?
first.
What was your name?
You can call me George.
I can call you George. Do other people call you George? The
It's
way
a
you
name I
said
answer
that
to.
was strange. Okay, George. Well,
Let's get you someplace you can rest, my friend.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
And he will start leading you out. Because again, Servatius has said that this Elysium is officially over. And therefore, now, you're good to go.
So if I could travel, I could probably make it back to my domain because that's not too far from here.
Yeah, he's gonna help you to, like, a cart and encourage, I guess is the way to say it. He encourages, like, a local farmer to help you back to your space.
Subtext. All right, well, he will take advantage of the situation.
So, while Tybalt is being escorted home, I think that's the appropriate place to take the break for the evening. And then we can come back to other people and find out what they're doing. So, why don't you take this moment to stretch, bio, refresh, get yourself a snack or four? You know, free range is encouraged. And we'll see you in a little bit, everybody.
Sounds good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you were refreshed, you stretched, you bioed, you did all of the things, and are ready to dive back in. Tybalt has left the building.
Mhm.
I have one question, Siraj.
Yes.
Are you going to attempt to get the box?
I mean, Siraj wants to badly, but he saw what the box did to a very large man. And again, his retainer, who is hopefully still waiting outside, is made of tissue paper as far as he's concerned. So no, he would. Hmm. I think first thing he would do is see if there's anyone he can snag to direct him back to the entrance because he wants to get his retainer again. And he's having to pretend. So assuming he's able to do this, that he would. So the person in charge of this was Servatius, or at least the sort of the organizer, kind
Yeah,
of.
I would say
Yeah,
more the organizer.
yeah,
Technically, Archon may have been this person in charge.
right. So I mean, yeah. So basically, he would like to talk to either Archon or Servatius, whoever's
I mean,
more convenient.
Archon.
He's already talked to Archon, I think, once. So
Yeah. Not since the box, but yes, you did
yeah.
talk
Well, yeah,
Archon
no, exactly.
once.
So at least that person I have a we've shared words, if nothing else.
Yes.
Yeah, because basically, yeah, he's looking for someone he can talk to go like, so what will happen to the box? Will it be leaving? Will there be guards? That thing?
Yeah, that would be that would probably be Archon.
Yeah,
Servatius is Nos, right? Nos gonna
yeah,
Nos.
exactly. So yeah, he's basically, yeah, he would want to check with Archon to
Ar-
see, hey, what are we doing about this? Even if it's just leaving it there, is it going to be guarded? This thing is dangerous.
Archon is um right at the he's not very far away. He's kind of
Mhm.
like close to the water, where basically where he was standing, after he made his announcement about that Lord the Sombra desires a prince of the city. Figure it
Mhm.
out. Um, and he is saying, so he's kind of standing right by the aqueduct. That's the word I
Mhm.
was looking
Mhm.
for. And, still kind of not quite hidden in the shadows. Maybe hidden, using the shadows to darken him, but not using, not using the somber shadows, just using
Yeah,
natural shadows, right?
yeah.
Um, and he's, you know, basically, you know, just watching the everybody involved.
Fair enough. Uh, yeah. So Siraj would, approach him off sort of off to the side, not to obstruct his observations.
Mm-hmm.
And I come offering some information and a few concerns, if we may speak for a moment.
We may speak.
Thank you.
I feel that we are uh, planned conversation is tabled.
I suspect you are correct there. I I touched the injured one, Tybalt, I believe. Uh, Try to
The
understand.
Northman.
Yes, yes, one of the candidates. The one that was gravely injured. I try to understand. After all, I have some studies of the magic of the La Sombra, and specifically some knowledge of. At this point, lowers his voice a little further. I know the touch of the abyss, and I felt it on him. I felt it back there. This is. Perhaps I am not telling you anything new, but I still feel it needs to be said. This is not ours. This is the abyss itself was in that box.
And that's the last thing we need on this island, is a demon thinking that they have a doorway.
That seems to be perhaps what it is. It does not seem to me to be the best idea to simply leave that thing back there. Then again, I am not about to volunteer to go fetch it either. After all, I was just on my way through. Not my city, not my demons, but... Well, I also cannot simply ignore something like this. I offer my aid in whatever way I can.
Then I think that you and I might be going hunting for a box.
Delightful.
And there's a sigh, because it's very obvious that this is not, right? Like, he does not want to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what he came to this city for. He was supposed to be in and out and going back to the Castello d'Ombra, and sitting around, tending to, answering his lord's desires.
Honestly, same, like goals. Hashtag goals. That's all Siraj wants to.
And instead, we are stuck dealing with some idiot's lack of understanding of demons.
Mm. See, this is why I like my books and my studies, but no. Have to travel, get involved with politics.
Everything is politics. And he'll kind of clap you on the shoulder and is like, come on, let's go deal with a box to the abyss. And he, because he's standing right next to you, he's not being subtle about the fact that again, La Sombra to La Sombra, his shadows are being a little forward in the looking, shall we say. He doesn't want to be surprised again. Kind of thing. He wants to make sure that he knows who's here, that nobody's going to be sneaking up on you guys. So, his shadows are being kind of aggressive. But can I get a tenebration roll from you?
Sure. Just roll my obtenoration score?
You can add perception to it.
Cool. So perception, okay, 3. Nope. It helps if I actually write the little slash of the command. There we go. Oh, hey. All right. So
4 successes plus 2 10s.
Yeah.
5 successes. Your shadow has not been, shall we say, normal for a while.
Yeah.
Your shadow is now not normal in a different way. And to make the comparison to a dog for a second, right? Because dogs are, a thing. Figure that before your shadow was like a dog on a long leash, just kind of going and coming back and going and coming back and doing what it wanted, but occasionally checking in with you, kind of. This is a dog that got to the end of the leash and got a hard jerk back and now is right next to you, not leaving you, staying there. He's like, nope, staying here. You're my person. You can't go anywhere. I am now following you to the bathroom. I'm going to stare at you and be like, no, why is the door closed? We need to be together all the time.
Good. So
It's a clingy version of your.
yeah, honestly, the only outward sign. So anybody looking at Siraj would see that when as he walks and he's gonna follow along, but behind the Archon, um, with his free hand, he's kind of like doing the petting motion into the open air. He does that. He occasionally does weird little hand movements and everything. But anybody looking at his shadows would see that basically like a little weird little shadow pseudopod is clinging kind of to him, and the shadow of his fingers is effectively petting, kind of like trying to give it comfort as he follows along behind Archon. He's like, all right, I offered my aid. You want to go box hunting? Tell me, point me in the right direction.
Well, you're the one that saw it last.
And it's kind of a straight line in that direction. So here we go. And yeah, you'll begin to travel along.
Yep. We're gonna
on high alert.
On high alert. I'm going to ask then for a perception awareness.
Yes.
And because your shadows are back to being active, you can. The DC is lowered to 5.
Beautiful. Good. That DC is low. I mean, it's still just one success total.
Yeah, it's one success. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, the shadows are still jittery.
Yeah, lots of things are upset. Marozia, what are you doing? We're gonna come back to Siraj and his shadow friends.
I think she is just kind of staying there, seeing what the general tenor of the event is. It's like if they want her to stay, or is she able to go? She did see Tybalt.
Oh, Tybalt left.
Left, yeah.
Leave, kind of so in the comfort of the Templar. In the company, not comfort. Yeah. We'll leave that question to yourself and your own imagination. But in the company of the Templar, and then the question becomes, when they said, hey, is this Elysium over? A bunch of people started to leave, right? So.
Yeah, I guess you want. I guess her attention would be partially on like see if anyone's heading down there. Also.
Oh, so you're watching to see if anybody heads.
Yeah.
After the box.
Yeah.
You see the two La Sombra. I mean, they're kind of obvious. They stand out.
Yeah,
they fulfill
we're
their
not being subtle about it.
Yeah.
No, walk down the pathway towards the box.
You know what? I think Marazia is going to go to them. Are you considering going down there again?
Well, I for one, am not considering just leaving it.
I mean, I don't know what the hell that was.
Okay, yeah. That you no, you can.
I don't know. You don't. I don't. That's just. I don't. That's just my own personal like.
Yeah, you don't know. I was going through it in my head. It's like, no, you don't actually know what it is. He didn't tell you. So you don't need to make a roll for this.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, you're not lying about that.
They let the other, I believe the name was Tybalt go already?
Yes, I think needed a bit of a rest to recover.
Yeah, Do you know about things like this?
Enough to get myself in trouble in Salah. But, well, if you do not know what it is, it's probably best you keep your distance. Although, did I hear right? Your sire gave you that box?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yes.
And would you happen to know where your sire got this unique little trinket?
I got it over a matter of days ago from it was a shipment from Florence. It came in through the port. I do have the paperwork for all these things. So if you need that, I had no idea. I mean, the thing just it's fine. And then as the evening went on, you saw what it was like.
No, no, not really. But and he kind of again motions to his blindfold. But I get your meaning, though. I wonder, is your sire often playing around with the abyss?
Who knows what he was up to? I haven't seen him in probably about a decade or two, if at all. Imagine that he has more entertaining places to be than try and look over the shoulder of his person in charge of shipping.
Mm, interesting, interesting. So no previous history then of dealing with the abyss, the demons. No, no. And why did he tell you to bring the box here, I wonder? Or
She'll shrug. He likes to keep me on a string and likes to pull. Thought this one innocuous enough. Fetch something, bring something.
so would it be perhaps fair to say that the target here was, well, was it us? Was it the Elysium? Was it you?
I mean, I can't know what he was thinking, but what I do know is he probably does consider me expendable and
So you were the mechanism of delivery.
appears that way.
Yeah.
Certainly got the
sire,
hint that I was supposed to be at the center of whatever was supposed to be happening with it.
your sire seems. Well, I will tell you this. I do not like him. Them, here, I do not know, but they seem terrible. In any case, it appears well. And he pauses, glances over to, or rather, like tilts his head in the direction of Archon, and we're just going to make sure that the things inside the box remain inside the box. This is not the kind of thing it should be left on its own for too long.
What
If
sort of
you
things? I mean, I had it on my person. I had it in my warehouse. And I was in the room. What, like, should I be worried? Like, what should I be?
well, what is your experience with demons? Do you see them often? Not at all.
No, no, I don't.
That may be about to change, I believe. How long did you have this box with you? You said
On me just this evening in the warehouse for, say, 4 days.
And he again tilts his head towards Archon. Perhaps a visit to this warehouse?
It might be beneficial just to see.
Of course. should I have it closed, or am I allowed to conduct business through there? Whatever you need done.
Archon would kind of look back at you, Siraj, and be like, I mean, we can do it on our normal hours, right? Not worry about actually closing for business.
Right. I agree. Probably nothing, but best to be safe. What happens will happen. What Allah wills will be what it wills. But we may as well make sure that His will is enforced. Until then, though, and he kind of motions deeper into the tunnel.
Mm.
I, for one, have no objection. You've handled the box before. Your expertise may come in handy.
And she'll have like an uncomfortable look. As curious as I am, I do have a certain distaste for. She'll look at the water, at kind of like the aqueduct and the waterway crossings. Would be unpleasant.
Well, I suppose you can simply wait here.
Yes, there's no reason to stress you further.
And I will wait here until you return.
Very well, Archon, shall we?
Of course. And they will he will just keep going, walking down the
Again, on high alert, and now keeping an ear out for Marozia, because I don't know if she's about to stab us in the back. So just in case, she's spent, I don't know how much time or influence these demons have had on her. So keeping an eye on, but not like actively like keeping a knife on. But otherwise following along behind Archon. Or beside Archon, I suppose.
I mean, fair. He's not running down this thing. He's staying, moving not too quickly, but he's paying attention. He's got his shadows up, paying attention, all of that good stuff. Looking for possible anything that happens. Can I get a perception awareness or a perception occult? Actually, perception awareness and then a perception occult.
All right, let's do both. So perception is 3. All right. So this is perception awareness. Not great.
Technically, that's a botch.
Yeah, perception occult is better, but I did botch that first one.
So you are a little bit more focused on the shadows themselves and on the occult feelings that you're getting than what you're actually walking into, right? Like, you're paying attention to Marozia behind you, not wanting to get stabbed in the back. You're paying attention to your shadow that's being a little weird and not what you're used to, and looking for that occult feeling. And I think it's just going to be as straightforward. You trip on your own ropes.
Yep.
I will let you attempt to save yourself.
I mean, sure, we already saw what my Dex plus Athletics is, so let's go.
Yeah, let's see this Dex Athletics.
Yeah, that's there we go. Hey,
That's
look at that. Technically, oh Jesus Christ! Never mind.
But I also believe in accepting the signs from Roll20, and you got
You got two
You
crits.
you crit on d6s. 2d6s.
Technically, I mean,
So,
I'll
and
still
then
roll.
a 6 would be a success. So I will
True.
take it as the you stumble forward tripping, but you don't face plant.
I'll take it.
Kind of
I'm,
grab
I'm,
yourself on the
yeah,
wall of
yeah.
this arched brickwork
Excellent.
of this aqueduct behind you. Um, and the occult feeling you get is a little like a chill running down just the back of your spine. The little hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Archon himself kind of stops. And you realize what you tripped on was the box
Oh,
You punted the box.
that's open.
oh. Well, yeah. So Thrush does the trick. Oh, I tripped over something. Oh dear. I I found the box. Oh dear. Um, and there's again that moment of pause, and then he calls back along the hallway in Marozia's direction. You may want to run.
Um,
Because as far as Siraj knows, there's a demon in here, or more than one. Who knows?
you don't feel a demon.
Oh, good.
You feel a lack, shall we say.
Hmm.
And
Well,
that's there's no sucking vortex coming from the box.
uh, plus sign that. Then again, perhaps it might be too late if. Is there any other exit from here?
Continuing down the pathway. There will be, a couple miles from here.
Yes.
Just that's how the aqueduct system worked.
True. Yes, so Suraj kind of pulls the open box up. Well, the box is no longer a concern.
And Archon is looking at you very intently. And he'll take the box from you. Again, small jewelry box. Not very big. Size of about 8 to 10 inches, right? Not a full foot. Hinged. Dark wood. Inlay of mother of pearl and silver. Cushioned on the inside with a piece of fabric. Well, whatever was here no longer is.
Which means whatever was here is out there now. In the night with us.
And he'll just kind of reach over and clap you on the shoulder.
So, I for one did not come prepared to battle demons.
You get to battle the demon, or at least find it. I get to tell Lord Lasombra that there is a demon on his island.
Very well, yes. No, this sounds like a fair division of labors. You do that, yes.
Unless you'd like to make that report in person.
Oh, that sounds like an amazing opportunity to meet Lord La Sombra. But oh no, I would I find myself perhaps not quite worthy. Maybe should I perhaps catch this demon and bring him? That would be would that not be a feat? No, thank you for I will certainly. What was her name again? Marozio? Yes, no. And he's already turning to head back in the direction of everybody else. Um, Archon has the box, right? He took the box from Siraj.
No, he picked it up, turned it,
Oh.
and handed it
Yeah,
back
because
to
if
you.
okay,
Because
cool,
he
cool.
is one of those. He hands it back to you as he says,
Like,
"The demon
this
is
is
your
your job.
problem. I get to
Great,
tell Lord
great.
Vasambra. Or
Cool.
would you like to come with me on that?"
No. Yeah, so Suraj kind of closes the box, tucks it under his arm, and then kind of feels his way along the wall, like on his way back, as he's no longer.
I mean,
Unless Archon, unless Archon is walking back with him, I don't know.
Oh no! Archon is putting a hand, waiting for you to walk a little ways away, and then he's putting a hand on the wall in the shadows and falling into them.
Doing his thing.
He has a much further distance to go and a shorter timeline.
Yeah. So yeah, but let's see. Unless you in fact took my advice to run, you would see Siraj approaching.
Yeah, I think she
We're
doesn't.
gonna have one little thing where Billy's gonna crash because he has to get up for 4 o'clock in the morning and
Go
he
for it.
needs to sleep. So we're gonna say goodbye to Billy.
Sorry.
Hi,
So it
Billy.
won't be like this all the time. I'm just feeling real nutsy today. So
No
No
worries.
worries.
No worries. Yeah. Take care.
yeah, great time, friends. I'll talk to you soon.
Forward to it.
And just give me 30 seconds to fix the camera.
Yeah.
And then we're good. Okay. There we go. So, moving back to our, question. Marozia, Siraj is walking back to Marozia.
Yeah. And he's obviously got the box like tucked under his arm.
Yeah, I think there are other people here too, right? Still, it hasn't totally like.
Like Servatia, Rosalinda, had kind of left as you were walking down the hall, kind of thing. It was one of those like, I have things to do. You don't need to be here for more of this, and just kind of bounces. And then you see Servatius is still there. Benardin is kind of like walking people out.
I think Maurizio, I think, is probably in the middle, maybe like trying to convince Servatius for an escort back home because Sire's out there. I didn't come with my usual retinue of people. I would just like to go home safely.
There is a moment where he just kind of, if he had eyebrows, would be raising one at you. He doesn't, and instead he's just raising a very scarred, bony forehead protrusion. And then sighs, snaps his fingers, gestures to one of the ghouls that's still there. Take her home safely. And in the most kind of like, why am I responsible for this shit kind of thing? It's like
I don't know. She's
no. It's that's just him.
Yeah. But yeah, she'll still be there when Siraj comes.
Yeah, because Siraj would have kind of come out of the tunnel, like calling her name, Lady Marozia, Lady Marozia.
Yeah.
And once he's got her, so I have good news and bad news.
Start with the bad first, I guess.
Right. Well, there's a demon loose in the city. You could have gone with the good news first.
I mean, that's certainly bad news. So what is the good news in that case?
I found the box, so that's good. I mean, not very good in comparison with the other news, fair, but it may lead to. I will examine it.
And she'll point. It's dangerous. Sorry, sure, it's safe to bring it out here.
Oh, it's like haphazard, just like it's completely look. See, nothing inside.
She'll kind of angle away from when you like show it. Okay, yeah.
Kind of clacks it open. Click, click. It's completely harmless at this point, although I do have to wonder if perhaps it is possible to stuff it back in, so I will try not to damage it just in case it is still of use. That all said, now, are you a woman of faith?
She'll nod.
Good, good, because I believe that all people of faith have a responsibility to make sure that the demons of the abyss itself do not roam. And so, seeing as you, well, inadvertently, yes, but still brought it in, we are being, what is the word? We are being conscripted. That is a good word. I like that word. We have a responsibility now to find this thing.
Mm.
Perhaps we can even send it back where it came from.
I mean, certainly not here.
But no, it is not here. Not now. Perhaps. Well, did I hear correctly? You are being escorted home. May I walk with you?
Yes. Can't see why not. Can never be too careful.
Excellent. Oh, good. Good. We can discuss strategies. Do you have any other friends in that? I was just passing through. This is really very unfortunate
No,
for
I
me
think
personally.
I think once the listing was done, everybody headed home. So if there's no longer a opportunity for socializing, so I think it's over and we can leave.
Okay, good, good. Let us leave. Did you ever talk to that Tybalt fellow? He seemed nice.
Everyone's very helpful. Fortunately, what happened? Um, shielded me from the whatever happened over there. Kind of get some in his debt.
Mm. He certainly seems to have.
He's not
met
going
the-
to have to duel in that condition, is he?
Oh no, they're giving him a week. I heard.
Oh, well, I guess that's good.
Should be plenty of time. I hope. The wounds were deep and smelt of the abyss.
Hmm.
That said, I think that means he also has a personal motivation, perhaps, to pay the favor back.
Hmm.
I think he could be of use.
Yes.
Also, for him, hey, who doesn't want the man who saved the city from the demons to be the prince?
I mean, that is has a certain, ring to it, title, prestige, make up for, the appearances and what.
Yeah, there we go. So now I good because I am counting on you to convince him to come help us.
Mm. And do you happen to know where he is? Not from here, I must. Where is he occupying? If you happen to know.
Oh no, I suppose. Well, if they sent him yeah, so basically, I don't care. Servatius is really the only one kind that remains because well no that other guy Bonifacio was it?
No.
Benny-
Wow, I'm blanking on my own characters. Bernard.
Bernardin, there we go.
Not quite Bernard.
Got it. He's like still kind of glad handing near the entrance, or has he also left by now?
It's one of those, everyone else has walked out, so he's kind of doing the walk and talk, let me continue to be, glad handing as I'm walking out kind of thing.
All right, so yeah, so
there's no one else here. The two of you are like the last out the door.
so I mean, Suraj
And
are kind of tilted.
the ghoul that's Servatius is offered you as a bodyguard. Very obviously looks like could be, another dock worker kind of guy,
Mm-hmm.
Large, maybe carries things.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he does have a certain level of intelligence, but doesn't seem to be one if one were playing into stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not know where Dibald makes his bed, unfortunately. But I thought perhaps one of the others, and he kind of pauses as the hubbub of voices has completely died down. Okay, never mind. Sounds like perhaps there is no one we can ask not tonight.
Yep, I can probably inquire, and by maybe tomorrow night have some answers.
Excellent. I like that. So let us walk, and then once I know where you are, then
Mhm.
that is where we can meet again tomorrow night. And in the meantime, I will do my own studies and investigations.
Uh, oh, thank you. It's not very far, so we won't have very far to walk. So
And yeah, so Raj, basically like this idea is this: like we'll walk, you'll get to know where where to basically he'll walk, so we
Mhm.
know where to meet again tomorrow night.
yeah,
Because he wants to get home and play with the box.
yeah. Because I think also I think Arthur is kind of inquiring like, okay, what do I do if is there anything that I can do to protect myself from if in case it's any sort of if he uses any more demonic stuff on me, that sort of line of questioning. It's like very like a little. It's bordering on line of like kind of pestering. Like
Yeah.
she's like
Fine. So Raj
it's
would
like someone
happily.
if someone told like if I saw like a roach in my house and it's just like there's so many. It's like why can I
If you
get rid?
see one,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
there are
yeah.
there are
It's like or
20.
it's like it's
Yeah.
that level of like kind of like
Mhm.
I have a problem.
Yeah. I mean, Suraj would probably dispense all kinds of just like folk
Hmm.
knowledge about
Yeah.
demons,
Hmm.
you know, not necessarily anything that would actually qualify as a secret of, of
Hmm.
a ritual of the La Sombra and the Abyss, but like more like just general sort of religious folk knowledge
Hmm.
of like, how to avoid demons.
Yeah. Yeah. She's telling you all sorts of slights and like things that she hated about. She's basically talking
Are you
a lot of
trying
things
to
about.
get him to agree that your
Yeah,
sire is an
yeah.
asshole?
Like she's gonna use opportunity to kind of like yeah, like kind of like gossip.
Shit
You know,
talk
how
aside,
terrible.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, how bad he is.
So you're using this as an opportunity to perhaps bolster a relationship.
Yes,
Good to know.
yes,
Good to know.
yes.
Um, Thank you. I
Yeah.
just need to know these facts. I do have a question for you both as you're walking back to your abode for the evening,
Mhm.
escorted by a ghoul. Can I get both of you make me a perception awareness?
Mm,
Sure.
one of us will make one. Okay, that's better than zero.
One, two, three, four successes from Siraj. Siraj is a little bit more paying attention to the weirdness factor. Um,
Mhm.
Marozzi is trying to, make a friend
Mhm. Mhm.
in the way a Toreador makes friends. Um, Aggressively and, other ways. Not quite as bad as a, Ventru attempting to make friends, but I'm sure. Um,
Mhm.
so, excuse me. It makes sense that Siraj is the one that notices. As you exit this tunnel that had this and the stairs that lead out into the piazza, it's still night. But it's quite late. You would definitely be going home. Maybe grabbing a snack on the way. Um, you feel something in the city that feels off.
Yeah.
And you take a minute. And it takes you a second minute. And then you kind of put it together. You haven't heard the bells of any of the churches for the, what is it called? The 3 a.m. prayer service.
Yeah.
None of them have rung.
Yeah, I'd say so. As we're walking, Merody's probably like making casual conversation, or asking about whatever extra detail on like one of the precautions that they've been given, and Siraj literally just stops walking, like he stops in place, and
Something wrong?
Lady Merod, excuse me, What time would you say it is?
Yeah, so it's after matins, and there should be a yeah, it should have been. You should hear it. There wouldn't be an official prayer service because matins is technically the last at midnight, but there's always like a 3 a.m. because
Mhm.
yeah, louds is at 3 a.m., which is the first one. So louds, then prime, terce is 9 a.m., sext is noon, none is 3 p.m., vespers is evening, compaline is just before bedtime, and then matins is midnight. So there should be a louds at this point.
I mean, we have more than a few hours left before sunrise.
Right, right. So by now, we should have heard the bells.
Oh, yes.
And I will tell you one thing, my hearing is quite sharp.
Hmm. Can't say I've paid too much attention to them.
Oh,
Does
I
that
hear them.
mean something? And does...
Oh, it can mean many things. After all, there is more than one church, and they all ring their bells. But not tonight.
Hmm.
And he's there. And he kind of motions again because he's still pretending to be blind. So like motions. Do you see a church nearby?
I mean, we should have one close by. Yeah. Yes. There.
Yes, so the Piazza Santiano comes out. They're like, hold on. It's Palermo, right? There's gonna be a bunch.
Right.
The closest is to your northeast, like Chiesa de Santa Maria degli Angeli, La Glancia. Oh, it's actually really pretty.
There are many in this area, but there is one not slightly northwest to us.
Yeah,
Right.
northeast, and it's
Northeast.
and by northeast I mean like 2 blocks.
Yeah. And we could walk to it in
Let
a
us,
minute or
please,
two.
and tell me what you see.
Do I see anything unusual?
So
Then?
you can roll me perception alertness.
Okay.
Because, fun times.
Okay. Yes. No successes.
No successes. Technically
At least
not a
not a
botch.
Not a okay, yeah,
Because you.
but not a botch, but not a success.
But not a success.
Hmm.
There were reasons why you had a lower DC, but I wasn't telling you if you succeeded it wouldn't matter. But in this case, it doesn't. No successes. But not a botch because you don't have you don't have the extra one, which would be the botch. Trying not to sneeze. DM problems, right? As you make your way, it seems quiet. Like it's 3 a.m., right? Like the only people who should be up now are any of the monks who are observing louds, right? Even the bars are closed, and if they have the brothels are locked up, it's that level of the night where no one's on the street. There are occasional torches still burning at various lantern points, but there's no one on the street. There's no one to see. It doesn't look that different than what you're used to.
Okay. Yeah, it's no. I can't see anything that looks unusual or out of place. I mean, it is quiet, but it is the usual uninteresting quiet at this time of night.
So no movement, no nothing. Perhaps, please lead me to the church. Let us see if the doors will open for us.
All right.
I am filled with apprehension.
Right, I will lead you.
And yeah, we so basically Sriracha
Mhm.
would try to see if if the door will swing open or if they are barred. He wants to see if there's anybody inside because right there should be monks.
Yep, there should be monks. There should be an entrance on the side street, and there should be monks that would let you in. I mean, even or like the parish
Mhm.
priest, more accurately, right? Like,
Right.
because there wouldn't necessarily be monks at like of the church in at just like a parish church, right?
Right.
Which is what this
But
is.
somebody rings the bell or would have rung the bell. So yeah.
Yeah, and the parish the priest of the church, and maybe his deacon or whatever, somebody would have been there.
Mhm.
The door is this large Romanesque arch with these two very tall wooden 10 feet 15 or 12 feet wooden with banded with rivets and of brass and iron across the door. It's a heavy door. It's as you push in, it nothing fights you.
Mhm.
It, like the door opens. There's no lock on the door. There's nothing here, but as you kind of push the door in and you look inside the church, for Marozia, it is pitch black,
Mhm.
which is also a problem. None of the candles are lit. The candle for the sacristy isn't lit. None of the candles in the side votive altars are lit. None of the candles that parishioners would light for prayers for whomever. None of that is there. Siraj,
Mhm.
however, would see something.
Yes. The darker it is, the better I see.
Mm-hmm. The crucifix is missing. The one that
Yeah.
hangs.
Yeah. It's usually kind of a pretty prominent place. Yes.
Yeah. The one that's kind of like right behind the altar, kind of really important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And no
Um,
sign of any living or dead beings.
nope. No kind of any sort. Nothing seems to be damaged. There isn't like there aren't pews at this point, right? Like there are like a couple chairs that would be brought in for like the uber
Mm-hmm.
wealthy of this parish, but for the most part, people stood for mass the entire time unless they were kneeling. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just open. But none of the uh, candles are there. Nothing is damaged. Nothing is broken. Just all of
Mm-hmm.
the lights are out, and the crucifix is missing.
So, yes, Siraj would kind of again, he's pretending not to see. So he's like, do you see anything?
There's nothing I can see in here. It's pitch black.
That's not right. There should be candles. There should be lights. It's
I have a
always a candle.
question.
Mm-hmm.
How? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain level of knowledge that anybody at this time would have had about a Christian church. But we know that Siraj is not Christian.
Right.
So my question is, how much knowledge does he have about Christian churches?
I mean, he does have the dotted theology on purpose. And being La Sombra, you kind of can't avoid it, right? The both sides, are prominent within the family.
Yeah.
So while he's not, I don't think he would be he's knowledgeable enough to be able to have a theological debate with a Catholic or Christian rather priest
So
on the nature of God, but he might be less knowledgeable
Mhm.
specific rituals or specific right.
yeah, you maybe not less specific rituals, but one thing in this instance would immediately ping if she says she can't see
Hmm.
anything and there is nothing to see.
Hmm.
The light for the sacristy is not lit, which means according to Christian tradition, that Christ is not in the building.
Okay. Yeah. That's
That would
sort
be
of
something
base.
like that's a level of
Mm-hmm.
that would be a discussion of theology, right? Because
Yeah.
lighting, that particularly would come up in an Islamic debate about whether or not Christ is God or not.
Yes, very much so. Yes.
And one of the things is whenever crucified host is in the tabernacle, there's a candle lit to signify that the crucified host is there, and therefore Christ is in the building. There's no lights on. Christ ain't home.
Yeah.
In any depiction at this moment.
Gotcha.
So you would know that.
All those thoughts pass through Raj's head as he goes, no lights there should be. Again, I am clearly not my faith, but we know enough. This is very much not right. We need to look inside. I fear that something very important is missing here. And it kind of like he's not stepping inside the church, like the door is open, we're looking in, and he goes like, can you bring any lights? Maybe we still have our like the ghoul that was leading
Yes,
us.
you have a
So
ghoul.
like,
You can.
Yeah, so like
You
can
you
bring,
have
bring a
your
light?
retainer and an extra ghoul.
Yeah, but my retainer is basically like a walking stick with a personality. He would turn to the ghoul and go, "You ghoul, bring a light. Find one, bring it."
He would nod and walk off. It's not going to take him long because, like, again, there are lanterns kind of at each street corner, a holdover from the Greek period and the herns that were at every crossroads in every Greek settlement. So he comes back with a stick on fire. It's not fancy, but it is a stick on fire. So I need the two of you to make me a roll.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Should have been more specific.
Oh, both,
I
yes.
mean, what other lights are there going to be, honestly, at this time?
Cool.
It's not like he can bring a flashlight.
I've been so on the water that I forgot about fire bad. Fire really bad.
It's a frenzy check.
Yeah. Oh, cool. What? Oh.
I would say that this is a reduced DC though because it's the sight of a torch, so it'd be down to a 5. And a frenzy check is your courage and self-control.
Courage and
Excuse me, courage and willpower. Courage and willpower, not self-control. By the way, it is the end of the scene, Marozia. You do get those 2 willpower back. 2 of those willpower back.
Okay. Cool.
So our current willpower or our willpower score?
Technically, it's supposed to be your current willpower.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I've only
Glad
spent
I got
one.
those.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And wait, hold on. Before you roll, Dan, what is your nature again?
My nature is pedagogue. So his whole thing is more of like explanation and I mean, he's been kind of doing that with the conversation as he's passing on tips, but only half-heartedly because he's mostly just vibing with the weirdness.
Yeah, I would say at the end of the scene you can recover it because, but
no worries. All right, so
Oh, you're pretty good.
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're fine. You're fine. Everybody's fine.
I'm not gonna bother re-rolling the 10s because
no, you're all good. You are fine for a frenzy check. You're fine. Yep, he's standing there like, I got a stick with light on it, and he walks into the church with a stick held up high and lit.
Good, better him than us. Okay, tell me, please, what do you see?
You see a large church. There are, again, no candles. The crucifix is missing. You could roll again. This time it would be perception awareness.
Perception awareness, okay.
Or perception investigation. I would accept either.
Perception awareness it is.
I actually have investigation. So
4 successes.
So 4 successes. The tabernacle is not lit. There are no side candles. The crucifix is missing. There are no dead bodies. There's no signs of violence. No broken windows. No damage to the building. But there seems to be like a black thing on the altar. And that's just a level of, you are at the door of the church, and you can see that there is a black thing on the altar. To determine what it is, you'd have to get closer. Just physically closer. Unless you have heightened senses, which I don't believe you do.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, just like nothing appears to be damaged. The crucifix is missing, but there seems to be something dark near the altar. And she'll kind of like grab like the hem of your like your shirt and just say, what do you think we're gonna get from indulging this? I mean, I am thankful that you are escorting, but how dangerous is this?
Very. We are dealing with the forces of the abyss. And I will tell you this right now. If the cross is missing, your Christ is not here. And
That isn't
something
here.
tells me that should we visit another church this night, we would find the same.
If God has left this building, then why are we going inside something?
Because it might be the thing we're hunting. And believe me, this is a hunt. The difference is whether we are the ones being hunted. You, ghoul, inside.
Yep.
Tell me what you see on the altar.
Okay. Kind of goes over, picks up, has his stick with a light on it. I think, yeah. And he kind of like licks his finger and then it's a bunch of ash.
Ash.
I have a question.
Pile of ash.
I strongly suspect that were we to measure it, it would probably be about a person's worth of ash. I'm not saying we have to fix this, Lady Marozia, but also we do. Well, it is more of simply a sign, a portent. Yes? We have released a demon into the city, and now, well, God is gone.
God is gone, and there's a pile of ash that was probably one of us. Maybe.
Or no, well, perhaps. I do not know. But my guess right now is probably whoever was the caretaker of this once holy place. All I know is a being with the power enough to do this to... Again, I heard no bells. In this city, there are churches everywhere. I suspect the morning will bring many screams.
And I think that's a perfect note to end on. As we flash forward, as you make your way, you've made your way home and safe and sound. For the kindred of this city walk, well, mostly all right. But as Siraj noted, the first light, but not even the first of light, at prime, 3 hours hence, many screams are heard throughout the city as piles of ash are found on the altars of every church in the city limits. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. And that is where we're going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to let my friends say who
That's
they
right.
are. And we're going to, they're going to get a break. They get 2 weeks. We're going to have 2 weeks. And then Team Syracuse comes back. And then Team Palermo. So Team Palermo technically has 3-week break.
Look at that.
Before they have to deal with what they unleashed on this island.
And there's a lot of, I mean, Maruto would say yes, they, but you know, like, I mean, it is Maruto did for Siraj, but
Yeah.
it will have nothing to do with this.
I would like to point out that I am saying they because when we started this session, there were 2 people holding the box closed.
That's right.
Siraj had nothing to do with any level of unleashing. He's just being real nice and trying to. Oh no, he's not even being nice. He got literally conscripted into fixing it.
You were given.
I did volunteer. No, I did volunteer. I did say I will lend whatever help I can. He's like, oh, will you now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just it's poor Tibble who has nothing to do with it. It is now an accomplice to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he wants.
Well,
to be
he's not an accomplice. He's a witness.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He is not going to be in any way, shape, or form possibly happy with us.
Like, what happened? Everyone's gonna be like, what?
Okay, I didn't do it.
So we're gonna say, let everyone them say their things, share some love, share some joy, where you can find them, all of those good things, and then I'll do my spiel at the end. So why don't we start with Lynn? Hi, Lynn.
Oh my God, this has been great. It's nice having everyone kind of like interact in this nightmare that's happening. This situation. I am so sorry, Syracuse, but it's decide that what we did. I watched. I'm like, oh no, oh no. But yeah, this is so much fun. I am Lynn, Gremlin Art, pretty much everywhere on social. You can find my art, and next time you'll see me is on Tuesday on Warning DM for Streets of Gotham. On Tuesday, where we are a trio of vigilantes in a city that has no Batman. So we start at the ground floor, and we were doing okay. No one. We had our first, I think, encounter with someone like a costumed information broker, and things are doing good. But yeah, it has been nice to know that Marozia is like that. Siraj is wondering what's like. Yes, the person that knows the most is right with you, and just like. She's not scared of the church. She's scared of the sire that is still alive.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure none of this will be a problem coming up.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But thank you, and you get 3 weeks off to, deal with preparations for, whatever you think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think
3
is going
weeks
to happen? I just need to know.
I don't know. Probably some really intense investigation of the. You know what, Marozia is just a unfortunate victim of horrible Ludovico. Just horrible. I have to I picked a name, like my brain wants to say Ludicolo because that's a Pokemon, and that is not what he is not a not that.
Yep. And then thank you, Dan, for being here. Thank you for playing the straight man and coming into this thinking you were going to be the scariest thing in this game, and you are not.
Oh no. I mean, I knew it was going to be at the very least one of the weirder things in the game, but I mean, honestly, my character sheet says it. He's awkward. The first word in his concept is awkward. I'm having a lovely time. And for those of you watching, I'm Dan. I'm originally from the Fandible podcast, Fandible. Look for us online. My own personal stuff. I'm Uncivilized Dan, all together like that, pretty much everywhere. If you find that name, it's probably me in whatever social service you have. And the next time you'll see me is in 3 weeks. I'm not doing any other streams at the moment, but I'm loving this one. I am really having a lot of fun with this. Siraj is, despite himself, I think he's having fun because he loves this shit. Like it's weird, occult. It's tied to the abyss. Sure, he's like terrified at the same time because this is beyond him. It's like straight on abyss. It's not just like the skimming at the surface that we sort of use for our rituals normally, but also he's kind of an obtenebration and occultism nerd. So it's that sort of like, imagine you're like, a nature and wildlife nerd, and you're like, there's some moose in here. We're in the Caribbean. There's not supposed to be any moose. And you're like, moose are very dangerous. They're huge animals. Like, yes, they're very dangerous and huge, and they're not supposed to be here. Isn't that cool? So that's kind of how he's geeking out about it,
I
in
can
his
see
own
that.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah, in his own way.
you're walking around with Murato. It's like that was my moose. My moose is loose.
Yep. So he's
Mhm.
really, in his own way, he's having a grand old time. Not that he would ever either tell it to somebody else or really acknowledge it to himself. He, in the way he's rationalizing it to himself, like, no, this is literally like his purpose. It's solely like there's a demon out as a servant of Allah. I must take action on this, of course. But also, this is really cool. There's a demon who's like, I was not expecting. Like, holy shit,
How often you get to see demon or actual
right?
demon, flagrant demon
Yes.
Exactly.
use?
Exactly. So he's look, he's a little naive in his own weird way. He's not he's but I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Also, I'm getting like real, like I just finished the series Evil, the TV show.
Mhm.
Such a shame that it ended. But because I was really, that show took some wild
So good.
swings. The
Yeah.
moment Tim Evil did sex magic with grandma. That's it. That's all. If you haven't seen the series, go. Tim
Go
Evil does
watch
sex
it.
magic with
It's
grandma.
very good.
That's all I can tell you. It's amazing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I really got some like, yeah, we're investigating, like that sort of like vibe, which I really dig.
So I'm glad you're all having fun. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves. Hey everybody, I'm your friendly neighborhood Prax at Dear on Twitter, or Praxagorth as me for is. You see me around here on Twitch, Prax the Bard over on Instagram, Hive, and Blue Sky. Thank you all for being here. We'll do quick shills. So we have a Ko-Fi. All of that helps run this channel. We also have a merch store. There will be an update to the merch store in the next little bit. I promise. I have a couple things that are going to be going up there. It'll be great. You can find funky stuff, including one of my favorite shirts ever, which is the I'm fucking tired of being evil shirt, because sometimes you need that with a little bit of blood spatter. It's great. You can also check out all of the VODs on YouTube, and I have uploaded them all. They will all be public tomorrow. Everything is organized. A couple things I had to fix because the VODs weren't uploading correctly, so I apologize for how long it took. But that's fixed. But we are going to have some fun because there's going to be a 2-week break before we get into the second half of our season for our little game here for both Team High Clan and Team Low Clan. So first up, we're going to have 2 guests for the 14th, or excuse me, for the 15th and the 22nd. Both of those games are going to be charity fundraisers. So on the 22nd, we are going to be we'll have a very, very special guest. Or excuse me, on the 15th. The 15th is first. On the 15th, we are going to have a very, very special guest and a very, very good friend of both me and the channel, because, I get to hang out and do fun things with her all the time. The wonderfully fabulous Kelly Butler, Kelly the Opera Geek, will be coming to let us have a look at perhaps one of the princes outside the island of Sicily and see how the drama unfolding on this little nothing pit stop of an island might be affecting things on the wider European stage at this moment. It will also be a fundraiser because if you don't know, in addition to being Suicide Prevention Month, September is also the month for the MS Society's Stream of Many Eyes. It is a month-long charity stream for MS Research Foundation, and it will be a bunch of different TTRPGs are happening, different channels are supporting, and all run through the MS Society. I just dropped. Why did the link go away? Come back here, Twitter. It's okay. I know where it is. I can find it. And thank you. But you check out the Stream of Many Eyes, and it all goes to support MS research and care for those who are unfortunately suffering from that very debilitating disease. And why can I not find what I am looking for? You know? Okay, so the MS Society. Where's your Stream of Many Eyes? I can't find the link. Anyways, check out Twitch. A bunch of people are streaming. A bunch of people are doing different things. So next Sunday will be a fundraiser to support the MS Society and the Stream of Many Eyes. And Kelly gets to come and have a lot of fun. So you can going to be able to donate to give successes to either her or to your wonderful GM. I'm sure that that won't be harmful at all to anybody. And then in the next week, we are gonna on the 22nd, we're going to have another guest and another fundraiser. The 22nd, the wonderfully fabulous, very dear friend of both the channel and me, Trooper SJP, has agreed to come and bring his own level of shenaniganry and drama. And if you don't know Trooper, I would just like to remind you that my second favorite shirt is the I Survived the Lord Math Experience t-shirt that's on the merch store. I would just like to point that out. And if you don't know, you should check out the Witcher game that I ran on this channel and see if you can survive the Lord Math Experience, because it's an experience. And we love Trooper. But we'll also be doing, on the 22nd, will be a fundraiser for Fisher House Foundation. Fisher House provides care, housing, and support for veterans and or their families while they're undergoing treatment for medical issues at various VA hospitals around the country and around the world. They also provide medical transportation and additional stays at various hotels if there isn't a either Fisher House or VA hospital near where medical treatment is going to happen. They're a really, really great resource for everyone who, veterans and their families, and we do a lot of fundraising for them here. As you can see by the bricks, I am part of the stream team. This is Bricks. He is their mascot. We look Fisher House. Yes. He builds houses. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for joining us. We'll be back on Sunday again for Kelly and that fundraiser stream. I have also decided, because fuck fighting with Sony right now, I can't get into my PlayStation account, so I'm just going to open a new Genshin account and start from scratch on PC, grinding so I can get to Nautilon. It's gonna be forever, it's fine.
Oh no.
But we'll be there for that, probably be doing that on a couple Saturdays. Well, we also talk about books and all the fun things that we get to do and all the fun times and people we get to hang out with. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being wonderful, wonderful players and agreeing to this crazy, crazy shenaniganry. And the joy that you bring to this table and just the drama and the fun times. But let us see if there is anybody up tonight to raid. Let us see. Let us see. No, unfortunately. Not that I... No, nobody... No... Well, maybe let's see if any of the Stream of Many Eyes is up. Okay, so that would be a tag. Okay. Okay. Nope. Apparently not. Apparently nobody is up, so we're just going to say goodnight to everybody and see you in a week for more vampire drama. Have a good one,
Hooray.
everybody.